Welcome to another episode of Shock and Awe Toy Reviews. I'm Toast, joined by
Mr. Berg.
And tonight we are looking at the Marvel Legends Villains Wave.
AKA Build-A-Figure Xemnu? Who knows?
Not us.
Not us. So you gotta buy at least 7 guys to build this guy if you wanted to build him.
Did you want all 7?
I did not want all 7, but I wanted him, and I wanted enough of the 7 that I went ahead and did it.
The guy that you don't know.
So he was in the back of official handbook to the Marvel Universe as a Hulk villain who looked weird and looked like a crazy old school Jack Kirby random monster of the week. Tales of Suspense, Tales to Astonish, Strange Tales guy. Had no idea. He just looked weird. I saw him on a couple covers, never actually read a comic with him up until Immortal Hulk a few months ago, and he was awesome. And I'm now sort of disappointed, spoilers, that it's not Immortal Hulk version and it's classic version.
Oh, I see.
Of all things. So anyway, here they all are.
We're going to go through them one at a time.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
All right, first up is classic comic Lady Deathstrike. She is one of the ones I didn't care about.
I think she looks great.
She looks great, but I've never cared about this character or this design. It always looked weird to me.
I think I remember her most from the cartoon, not the comics, because I wasn't really reading X-Men at the time.
Sure. She does an excellent job of representing the character. She is very basic, not much paint, except that all her little silver circuitry bits and fingernails are painted.
That is really nice, but I would like something to be done with the brown.
Yeah, the brown is just brown. It's just brown plastic. The red is painted on the brown. And as will become real apparent with this wave, Hasbro went back to their bag of tricks and used the weird plastic again, because she has super crazy, fragile feeling elbows. And I was terrified and still am terrified that they're going to break.
Yes.
Yet her legs and knees are super hard plastic. The sculpt is there for Marvel Legends. The paint is pretty lacking. She needs a wash or something just to bring out some details. If you like this character, this is the best version you're going to get. I can't remember that there was a previous one, except for a movie one that may or may not be wrong.
I don't even know what modern Lady Deathstrike would look like.
Yeah. And with the exception of her Build-A-Figure piece, she comes with Bupkis.
Which sucks.
Yeah. And she has normal Marvel Legends articulation, except no torso joint. She has a ball-jointed waist.
And I like that she doesn't have the standard female hands.
Yeah. Nor does she have the standard female feet.
Are those pinless legs?
They are pinless legs.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I haven't noticed that yet.
They're pinless legs and elbows. Once you get her elbows working, because they are very scary, frightening, because it's a super soft plastic. She's fine. She's got a weird, like, crease there that I don't know why that is there, but I don't know. That's there. Up next is AIM Scientist Supreme, another guy that I don't mind having him. If he wasn't part of a Build-A-Figure, I probably would not have picked him up, because with his gold body armor, he doesn't really fit in with the yellow AIM guys.
Get him for Action Force or for G.I. Joe?
Yeah. And he has super weird floppy plastic joints. But, like, this is hard, but his knee joints and elbow joints are that weird soft plastic that Hasbro uses every couple waves. He gets great head, so he can, like, why are you idiots working for me? Because you hired us, boss. I'm pretty sure he's mostly Iron Patriot or Iron.
Yeah. there's some reuse there.
Reuse figures. I like his belt, buckles and belt. It's just ridiculously large and good. I like the flat blue paint. He has 100% standard Marvel Legends articulation.
I'm not interested in him as a character because, again, I'm going to wind up repeating this a lot, but I didn't read anything with this character. But I think as a toy, he looks fantastic.
He'll look great fighting anybody, but
he's got some floppiness, though.
He does. But he's there. He does have some need more silver or yellow paint on my hands, and the yellow gold on my hands don't match the rest of it. And he's cast in this weird gold paint or gold plastic, so he's got some weird marbling that comes through.
I like that sometimes.
But yeah, it works as armor.
Mm-hmm.
And his color scheme breaks up very nicely.
Oh, yeah.
It's very pleasurable. And he comes with a giant computer chip thing. Maybe it's his pad. Boop, 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 boop.
Could be.
Looks like something you would pull out of a 1970s computer.
It does, yes.
What are you doing? How I'm closing the pod pay doors, Dave. Okay. So anyway, AIM guy. If you got AIM guys, I'd pick him up just to have a leader for AIM guys. Why not? If not, he's a cool villain. You can make up your own story. Kind of looks like a tick guy. Up next is the X-Men's villain Arcade, who reuses the, I think, Professor X suit body with maybe a new top. Definitely a new bow tie. He comes with his classic head sculpt, hair.
I did have an Arcade comic growing up.
Yeah. I liked him as a kid because he was, cool. And then they made him, or he was just fun. And then they made him like murderous and evil.
Yeah.
Kind of took away from the fun of the character. He totally, again, has standard Marvel Legends articulation, except his chest joint is super hampered by his, even though it's soft plastic, you can barely move his torso. And he has his fun giant platform boots, which are done weird, but it's done well. But they're like a darker, different off-white than the rest of him.
Well, the crotch
And the
thighs
crotch.
don't match the leg thigh.
Yeah. So
That bugs me.
it's like they cast him out of different plastics with different whites, and it doesn't. If you have them far away, you don't notice, but up close, you totally notice that it's all different shades of white.
It's a really nice head sculpt, though.
It is a very good head sculpt. Definitely always would recognize him as Arcade, unless you're into the newer Arcade, and then he has this goofy, long-haired, great face, but
That's Eisenberg Lex Luthor head.
yeah. Then he also comes with his cane, which is just gold with blue that looks like it needs 3 or 4 more runs of blue because you can see the gold underneath it. All right, up next is the 5th Dormammu. Probably only a 3rd or 4th, but this is classic comic version. With the striped face, clear hair, looks great, has the thicker Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko villain style body, has the goofy little boot things, goofy little wrist things, has the random yellow belt to break up the color. If you look here, you can see his sweater coming up next. He has solid plastic. My big issue with him is that his elbows and his knees are a different shade of purple.
Yeah.
And so is his again, you can see him even more on camera. He's supposed to all be one purple, and he's just, every piece is a different shade of purple.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take that off to get an even more classic Arcade, or I don't even know which is the right version,
I love that head.
but he's the best Dormammu there was a Build-A-Figure, there was a San Diego one, and then I think they released the San Diego one again or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But he looks like a classic Dormammu. He will be my go-to Dormammu. He 100% has a standard Marvel Legends articulation with boot swivel.
I like that it's reuse, but it's clever reuse.
Yeah.
And it's cleverly hidden, is what I'm saying, with the boots, the belt, obviously the shoulder piece.
And he comes with 2 of these little fire thingies that you can wrap around his hands if you want, so he can crimson bands of Cyttorak, whatever. Or wherever you want to put him, you can wrap it around his leg. Comes with like gun hands, trigger finger hands, which are dumb, because why would he come with those? But he comes with fists, so he can raise your fists and yell. And he comes with right and left fists. But then he comes with crazy cool villain posing hands, which is like, just give me these.
Yeah.
That's all I really need. There you go.
Those are great hands.
So, Doctor Strange, I will ruin you. The Dark Dimension will destroy you all. And then another figure that I was totally going to buy, no matter what. For those of you who think this is just another stupid White Doom, this is actually God Doom from Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, which was awesome.
It was.
And the reason you can tell that is because he's got no tunic. And, yeah, not that that's a big difference. And for some reason, he still has his gun. But I'm pretty sure this reuses all the pieces from the recent Green Doom, with all the blah, blah, blah.
Except a different torso piece.
Yeah. Or just not the torso overlay. He has the standard Marvel Legends articulation, nothing new or different. He comes with magic casting hands. He comes with a gripping hand for some reason. He comes with a trigger shooting hand, because you can open up his thing and pull out his Luger or whatever guy it is. I don't know if it's actual Luger, but. And then he comes with a fist, and he comes with the best accessory of the entire wave.
No doubt.
And this is spoilers if you haven't read Secret Wars. So if you haven't, stop, come back in a few seconds. He comes with this. This is the Predator killed Thanos, ripped his spine and skull out of his body. Because Thanos was like, I can stop you. And he's like, no, I'm God Doom. Boop. And you can do this, which is just awesome. The hood. However many years ago, Hasbro did a fake poll and said, hey, do you guys want a hood figure? And they basically had a version of this guy saying, hey, you know that guy who was nobody that Brian K. Vaughan made? And then Bendis totally changed the character and made him kind of a badass. And people went, yeah, I'd totally take him. Well, they finally got around to making him. And from the neck down, he's just the Stan Lee figure from San Diego from a couple years ago, with a trigger hand and another trigger hand. And then with screaming Eric Bana face. That looks really dumb.
Well, it's sculpted well, because it's even got side wrinkles on the nose.
Yeah. It is a great sculpt.
They put effort into that.
My biggest problem with it is that I have almost every appearance of the hood, and at no point is he like, "Arr!" He's a much calmer, especially once Bendis took over, relaxed, thinking type guy. He's not
He should have had an alternate head.
Usually I'm all for, I want more expression, because all their movie guys just have this, like, I had to hold still for the 3D thing to get my sculpt in. And this is a beautiful head sculpt, but it's like, this should be a Bruce Banner changing face. Like, he should have a regular face, this face, and then a Hulk head.
Or just that face painted green.
Yeah. And then he comes with his hood, which, when you first look at it, is phenomenal, because it's got a great sculpt up here, great cloak sculpt. It has the yellow, whatever those are, that look very, very nice. There's texture. It's got tatters down here. It looks straight out of the comic. The problem is it is gigantic and does not sit on him like it never is going to sit right.
No.
And with the way it is sculpted, the minute you move his arms, it moves and doesn't work at all. And because it's sculpted straight down, like he's not even touching, like he's floating on the cape.
Moon Knight cape problems.
Yeah, and just so the thoughts were there, the execution was just terrible. He also has standard Marvel Legends articulation, and his biggest sin, besides the cloak not working and his crazy Hulk face, is that he has in and out wrist articulation, which is terrible. Why do you ask? Because the one thing the Hood has always done when he does his things is shoot his guns, because he's just a regular guy who happens to have a magic cape. And so he still uses guns all the time. And let me tell you, these are the worst ever cheap plastic guns. They look great, but man, these are made sure that your kid swallows them, they do not die, which is great, but come on. So he has his guns, so he can't shoot in cool poses because nobody shoots like that or like that.
Without the cape, he just looks like an 80s TV action star.
Yeah.
Or maybe a stunt double.
There you go. The thing I really like, though, is he comes with his magic bullets, which they don't plug in, they plug over. So you can actually see the gun through them, which I think looks really cool.
It is nice.
And somehow they're strong enough where I don't know that they'll droop over time. We'll see. We'll find out. So those look great, but he can't ever be in a good pose because he just is poorly executed on almost every level once you start putting him together.
Which sucks.
And then we have the Red Skull, which those of longtime viewers who remember many, many years ago, I mentioned that I got the Mezco one of this because all I've ever wanted is a green jumpsuit Red Skull.
This pulls that off well.
And it works. And unlike everybody else in the wave, he does not have gummy joints. He has gummy hands. His hands are super soft and malformed. But he has this great Red Skull head sculpt.
That's well painted too.
It's got, wash and everything. It's got his little Hydra armband. He has Dormammu. Yes, he's Dormammu, except for the boots and the hands and the head. Same body. And like I point out with everyone, the greens are all over the place again.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all darker greens, so it's not as easy to notice, but it is a thing. And he has the total standard Marvel Legends articulation. But he has a extra neck joint.
Yeah, that popped off when I was pulling him out of the package.
So he gets all kinds of extra moves. And the funny thing is, it's casted red and they painted it green. I don't know why they did that, but probably because this body was sculpted for Dormammu and then they reversed engineered it into Red Skull. So he comes with 2 trigger hands. Why does he come with trigger hands? Because he comes with, I believe, one of the previous AIM guys came with this gun. It's got a nice Hydra guys. Nice painted Hydra symbol. Cool looking gun. He can hold it in his trigger hand. He also comes with some Red Skull pounding fist hands. And he comes with, thankfully, awesome gripping or menacing villain hands. And he comes with the Cosmic Cube, which is the same exact one that came with Loki and other guys. And he can hold it just fine. Cosmic Cube, not the Tesseract. Marvel's MCU. Cosmic Cube. So I totally was going to buy this guy no matter what. He's my favorite of the wave.
I think he's the best well executed too.
He also comes with a more modern skull face, which also has great paint and looks great. I don't know which one I'm going to use more. And the Build-A-Figure is the aforementioned Xemnu, who knows, which is the fourth version of the Sasquatch Wendigo body sculpt. He comes with new 3 Muppet toes, 3-fingered Muppet fist, opened 3-fingered hand with his control panel, because he takes over your mind and controls your mind. That's his powers. He comes with a phenomenal head sculpt. Metal with nuts and bolts, great glowing eyes, random Jack Kirby belt. He does have the weird bluish gray wash over him.
I think it looks good.
I agree. I think it actually works on this character better than it does on some other characters. I wish, though, his back is completely white.
Yeah, it sucks.
So he's always standing with the sun to his back. Once I saw this guy, I thought he looked awesome. He's going to be a great piece on my shelf. He's another big villain to fight the Hulk. And once I saw him in Immortal Hulk, he's awesome. I need a third party to get those Immortal Hulk pieces to add on to him or whatever. Or when Hasbro releases him in 3 years, singly without all these other guys I don't need, I might have to buy him again.
I'm going to give mine rating on the entire wave, and I'm just going to go straight 3. Each of these figures has some pluses and minuses. I didn't buy any of these. My Marvel collecting is very specific, and all of these are I think, for the general fan, fantastic picks. It's just none of these were right for me, so I skipped the whole wave. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it seems like Hasbro phoned it in for this wave.
Totally.
There's some great sculpt. There's some poor execution. Some nice accessories. Some completely lacking accessories. The hood just seems like a failure. And we'll probably get a hood 2.0 at some point. Xemnu, I think, is fantastic. I love that guy. I've never read a comic, but man, he's great. So I think if you want any of these, I'd go specific. If you're not in for the Build-A-Figure, just get whichever one you want, and it will be a fine choice. It's just not perfect.
If I had to rate the wave on a whole, I would also say 3. Individual scores, just because I like to. He gets 4, she gets 2, he gets 5 out of 5. He is a figure you must own. I think he's awesome. He gets a 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5. Hood is 1 out of 5. He's super disappointed. I can't believe how bad he is. I recommend everyone get this Red Skull. He should be your, except for Nazi movie Red Skull. He's the default Red Skull for any collection. I think he's great. Dormammu looks great. I really recommend those guys. I love God Doom. I love Xemnu. I'm happy, with the exception of the Hood and Lady Deathstrike. They're all going to be on display in their proper waves, but
I think Shirtless Doom is growing on me.
But anyway, here they are, Marvel Legends, Build-A-Figure Xemnu Wave, the villains. We got some villains, finally.
Yeah.
Need more villains. I would take more villains any day of the week. I'd even take a Dr. Bong for Wilson. Hi, Wilson.
Did I hear Dr. Bong?
Yeah, we got all these guys before Dr. Bong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's right. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, say hi to us. Follow us on the social medias. Say hi to Wilson. He needs all the help he can get. He's lonely, and I'm a bad friend, and he's just going to have to deal with that.
Which villains would you like to see in the next wave?
Ooh, man.
I could make a list.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Round table. Yeah. Thanks everybody. Until next time.